qualifiers. Of course, you got to have some CIS
Reserve
representation, either VP or NaVi. We'll move along here to the winner bracket final. Should they take the series, VP ran the table in the group stage, 8-0. NaVi, they barely got in.
NaVi had to scrape their way through. Every single win for NaVi counted, and boy, did they have a very tough road. Had to go through the tiebreaker against Comanche, who actually beat them in the group stages. So I think NaVi are going to be counting their blessings to get into the playoffs. But once you're in the playoffs, guess what? Your group stage record doesn't really matter anymore. So at least in the sense as where they are now. Because right now, NaVi and VP on a clean slate. So neither team gets an advantage in this best of 3. It's a clean 4-team double in playoffs, and that's where if NaVi can step their game up, start playing some better Dota, they've still got a chance to qualify for Kiev.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, though, against a VP roster that's hungry, that was left, I would say, very disappointed after Boston, and undoubtedly is looking for a lot more here. It's a team that, really hasn't lived up quite to their potential. I think this is a team that for a while was on everyone's radar as like top 2, top 3 material at every tier 1 LAN they went to, but they had those results.
NaVi's turn to pick.
They were like dominant for a good month period, and then they kept doing what made them dominant for month after month after month. At no point did they adapt, try new picks, It wasn't like you need to reinvent your playstyle, but you at least need to like innovate a little bit if you want to stay up top. Otherwise, it's very easy for other teams to figure you out. But
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Like Slaughter, Lifesteal, they used to every game. The Sniper Ogres every game. They used to be very predictable. They often still do have some common threads. The Slaughter comes out again, but we are seeing at least different innovative picks time here and there.
NaVi's
so we are going to see the Slardar Darkseer. Expecting a support Slardar Gods?
Yeah, with the Darkseer, it makes sense. I guess there's a small chance you put the Darkseer like greedy into the jungle, get a fast like level 3, level 4 before sending him to the Slaughter lane. But typically this will be a 4-position roaming Slaughter, pair up with the Darkseer a bit, help out the mid lane, and it's something that Lil's played quite a bit, and that you can be very active and have a good impact on the early game.
Time.
Okay, so we could see quite a bit of aggression here with 2 tower diving melee Ion Chill heroes. As for NaVi, going for some really strong kind of team fight initiation. Generally, what we've seen in their drafts, they really have been built around those big like mid-game carry heroes for Dendi, for Pycat, I guess, as of late. They've been very successful with Juggernaut, with Invoker. I think the Jug does get banned here by VP. I believe they had like an 8% win rate, 75% on that here on the group stage. The Invoker, not so successful as far as win rate goes, but they have been going to it.
Yeah, that's one of those things you go for the comfort picks, even if you know you're not getting wins. Like Dendy's played it so many times, he's standing up in pubs that they probably feel good about it just from their scrims and other, like from a personal player perspective. But it's funny, it's kind of ironic. The Sanking Dazzle duo was something that Artstyle kind of brought to NaVi way back when. They used to do this like aggressive dual lane with Sanking and Dazzle that used to catch people by surprise, and it seems something that NaVi have continued to doing even with Artstyle's absence. So a 2-hero combo. The general Sanking is probably his best hero right now, and the Dazzle was a good support to pair it with. So we'll see what VP have as far as a laning matchup to deal with that potentially. They haven't really revealed any of their safe lane heroes, so plenty of room to get some strong laning heroes, and the Lifesteal are banned out partly because of that. Even Axe, a kind of unconventional ban, but something VP have run when they've got like a mid carry. Like if they get Pasha on like an OD, an SF, a TA, they don't mind running like a safe lane Axe, for example, and a Darkseer Slaughter dual lane, because they know their mid player can kind of provide that late game DPS.
Oh, you know what? Apparently the stream delay did not kick in. I do apologize to all you viewers. I'm going to have to kill it and try restarting Twitch not cooperating. It was nice having the live feedback for the audio, but unfortunately, I do need to delay. We'll be right back, guys. It's going to be 5 minutes. I know. Don't kill me. Sorry.
Better the draft than the actual game.
I turned it on the dashboard. I guess I have to click this to stream is delayed by. Okay. All right. See, there's like a new Twitter.
NaVi's turn to pick.
What I'm doing with it. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we're back 5 minutes in the future. Apologies about forgetting to set the stream delay. Hopefully it is fixed now. Kill me. So back to the...
they missed a few bans, that's all.
Back to the draft gods. We do see the Terrorblade getting banned out by VP.
Remaining.
Do you see the TB as a big threat from NaVi?
Could be. It's kind of hard to say. It's a ranged hero, and you've already picked up 2 melee heroes that could get beaten down on by a TB. And I think the big thing with TB is it's good against Slaughter plus right-click carry heroes. Like generally, you're running Slaughter with like a Weaver, a Lifestealer, a PA, or something that can benefit from the damage. Even a Sniper. We could see like a Sniper Ogre type duo. Well, Sniper for NaVi actually. Okay, that happens, but. TB's good against that because he's got such high armor. He's like the highest base armor here in the game. His armor growth is insane, so TB's just generally good against Slaughter.
All right, so they get the ho-ho-ha-ha. Actually, very interesting pick coming from this NaVi roster because Pycat, first ever Rampage, I believe it was, in Dota 2, back at TI1 on the Sniper. Oh man, that's a classic pick. It's been a long time, but he's a lot stronger than he used to be.
Yep, got Pycat playing. Well, he's I guess not playing the Sniper these days, but we'll see Dendy most likely in the mid lane. But yeah, all the throwbacks happening here. NaVi still trying their best here, even in 2017, but still have a tough road against VP. Disruptor comes out. This is like a comfort pick as well as just a good hero in general. This does. Again, I kind of talked about VP, how they've been a bit more innovative so far in the qualified group stages. This is kind of that more like old school, predictable VP. There's nothing new, nothing funky about their picks so far. This could have been one of their drafts 6 months ago, and everyone would be like, yeah, that's what they pick every game. But they'll stick with what works for now and see how at least game 1 goes.
5 seconds
All right, so
remaining.
grabbing the Disruptor now. Still yet to show their damage dealers here. Not really sure what the overall kind of
10 seconds
long-term
remaining.
strategy is, but they're very good at clashing now. Great chase with the Slardar Darkseer, good pick-off potential with the Disruptor Glimpse.
Radiant team
Pretty
pick.
heavy on the team fight overall from VP.
Yeah, they kind of have the team fight edge regardless of what NaVi go into at this point. Perhaps the Luna is that team like a good carry that has a good team fight presence with the Eclipse, but if VP want to get like a mid OD type hero or something, they can just have that team fight edge. Although they do need to be thinking about
5
matchups that
seconds
work
remaining.
against the Sniper, which is maybe more where they think the Shadow Fiend isn't really a good matchup, but it's a hero that can at least hold its own a little bit. But see what VP have in mind here. As far as carries go, they've run Troll in some of their games. Maybe something they want to pair up with a Slaughter. They've done some Drow strats. They could theoretically go for a Drow strat this game, get like a Drow plus some kind of a range mid to take advantage of that aura. But Drow could be a bit susceptible to the Sand King lane.
Definitely some dive potential with that, as well as the heal bomb. VP grabbing the Ember, so this will be their big tempo controller. And a hero that NaVi are very lacking in catch for. In fact, VP have already picked probably the best catch for the Ember and the Disruptor. Man, they can chase you for days. Sniper will not be getting away, so he really needs to have a lineup that can allow him to stand his ground and take those fights head on. Do you think they have it yet? And if not, gods, what is that missing piece for NaVi?
It's got to be something to help handle the Ember better, because yeah, just the one lockdown in the Sand King Forest track, and that's where VP take advantage of that. That's where the Ember Spirit pick comes at a perfect time. You've picked it when you need a gap closer against Sniper, a hero to get on top of him, and your opponents don't have good lockdown or control, no silence whatsoever. I mean, maybe that's where you go get something like a silencer against Ember Spirit at this point as your other support. I mean, NaVi's other hero has to either be lockdown and control for Ember Spirit, otherwise they'd never be able to deal with him in the late game, or it needs to be a hero that can complement their 5-man to push in the mid game and just win the game regardless of not. If you want to be an Ember Spirit without lockdown, you've got to like have a good mid game and just snowball, push down towers, win the game with your like Luna, Manta plus Helm of the Dominator push. So that's kind of more what I would expect out of NaVi if they don't think they can counter the Ember.
Final pick for VP. What's it going to be? Not very good at taking buildings or objectives, gods. That's the one big gap I'm really seeing in Slaughter right now.
10 seconds.
Probably something to partner with the Slaughter a bit, but not sure exactly what it's going to be. I don't think like a single target like PA is that great. Troll seems like maybe a better option, something a bit kind of more durable in the front lines. But we've seen quite a variety of heroes come out from Ramsey. He's even played some unconventional ones at various times, and could even see something like a safe lane Ember. I mean, the Ember Spirit's great this game just because of the lack of lockdown and how well it can deal with the Sniper. So they want to give it the better lane. Safe lane Ember may work just fine, and they can run like a mid lane that has a better matchup against the Sniper.
VP, fifth and final pick, taking their time. As for NaVi, they have some initiation with the Sand King. They're still feeling a little frail to me, though, gods. Is there something they could grab that would buff up their clashing ability, their overall team fight? I mean, they have a lot of damage. Like that feels pretty well taken care of, but durability a bit less.
Definitely
5 seconds
your ability, and I
remaining.
guess the Dazzle's like, it's kind of on him to keep people alive with his heals and graves. Gyrocopter gets picked up. There's a kind of fighting tempo control carry that can handle its own against the Sand lane. But yeah, for Na'Vi, I think Ogre would have been great for them. It's one of Viva's most played heroes, but that's been last banned, and that would have given them that support that can amp up their push, and they could win the game
10
before Ember
seconds
becomes
remaining.
a problem. But with that banned out, they may just, I don't know,
5
take some
seconds
kind of
remaining.
go for the approach where you just get some additional lockdown and control. A spirit kind of hero.
5 seconds remaining.
Not sure exactly what else is going to them. It's a tough spot to be in, and they go for the Nyx. So they go for the extra lockdown. This actually puts Sand most likely into the support role, but the Ember, like, if you can't end the early game if you have no control for Ember, the next pick comes to play.
All right, VP immediately
Prepare
smoking,
for
TPing
battle.
out. Solo to the mid lane. Looks like he'll be planting down a ward near the tower. And as for Armen on the Sand King, he will also be dropping an off-lane ward of his own. So they're going to start him on that side of the map. Has the boots picked up early? Looks like we might see a bit of roaming from Armen and potentially a tri-lane.
It could be fine with the Luna. I mean, that's one of the benefits of having Luna picked up as your carry, is it does open you up to go for these aggressive tri-lane lanes, and Dazzle great for it as well. You've got the sustain for 3 heroes and aggro tri-lanes with a shrine right next to your lane. Pretty fantastic as well. You win your lane, you spam your spells, you back up, shrine up, and go again. So Gyrocopter traditionally was one of the better carries to have in tri-lane versus tri-lane scenarios, but his Rocket Barrage has been nerfed so much over time that until you get it like level 3, level 4, it's pretty lackluster in lane. Doesn't really help you out enough against a tri-lane. So even if it's not a full-on aggro tri, I imagine Iron Man will start bottom and then roam towards mid once the lane's been won. There's a lot of potential for Na'Vi to do well in the laning stage.
So I am kind of emerging from my casting hibernation gods. As Gyro, I haven't really gotten to watch too much Dota, or at least not as much as I would like the last couple months. Is Gyro a hero again?
As of the last 2 to 3 days, yes.
Because I was
actually
like, I don't
picked.
think I've seen him at any of. I've seen some of the recent lands. I didn't see many Gyro.
No.
BP bringing
He's
it back.
become like a fighting carry that teams are going for. Like, there's Faceless have run it 2 or 3 times in their games in SEA, and I think I've seen a few of the European teams also run the Gyrocopter. I don't think I've seen any NA Gyros, but he's clawing his way back in. But it's kind of like a last resort carry. It's like, well, no Luna, let's get a Gyrocopter, for example.
Gotcha.
Like it's always the last resort.
Yeah,
carry
it's like
option.
it's the poor man's team fight carry, so to speak. I still remember the aggressive days when it was the go-to, but Na'Vi definitely looking like they could bring that aggression as they continue to park Bycat bottom. It appear to be a full-on tri-lane. If I'm ever gonna creep block mid, but I imagine after that we'll be heading bottom right away.
Yeah, this could get a very early kill if VP aren't ready for it, and that lane ward really sets them up for success. Sanking can just hide in these trees. Is Slider in the bottom lane, so I think Lil recognizes this aggressive tri-lane threat. Otherwise, you wouldn't normally see a Slider start bottom for a tri-lane. So he's ready for what Na'Vi are throwing them. And this is something Na'Vi have also done more so than other teams. They're one of the few teams who are maybe consistently running these aggro tri-lanes with a hero like Luna.
Yeah, in the mid lane, no one going to be on his patented Ember Spirit. Definitely one of no one's strongest heroes. Dendi as the sniper. Early on, obviously, Sniper going to do well here. Do you feel like Dendi should easily dominate this lane, or how do you expect it to go?
Yeah, it'll be Sniper favored. I think it'll be like a slight 20 to 30% CS advantage going the Sniper's way. Early levels with the Shrapnel, you can kind of zone out the Ember, but once you run out of Shrapnel charges, it gets less one-sided. Bottom lane Iron Man taking a lot of damage. He was not expecting the Slider.
A bit too deep. Vivert does hit the point in Shadow Wave off to burrow down to the low ground. He's out of mana now and pop back and hit that shrine.
Yeah, it looks like he wanted to mess with the pulls, but gets punished heavily. And using that shrine this early on just for, you kind of have to, because otherwise Sanking, what's he going to do? Walk back to base, pop a shrine there, or heal up and come back to lane? It's a big waste of time. He needs to be in this lane from the get-go, but that's your shrine effectively wasted. So really good play by VP to punish him early on and force that shrine.
Yeah, meanwhile, up top, General also has the 1v1 against Pasha. We'll quickly check out this lane. Obviously, the mana burn, pretty good to deal with the Darkseer Iron Shell spam, but once he gets the Soul Ring, it'll be tough to persistently keep him out of lane.
I've surprisingly seen Nyxes do pretty well in this 1v1 matchup, like go even on CS. The big thing is to block the neutral camp, so Darkseer can't farm the lane and the neutrals, and he's blocked that big camp. So once that big camp's blocked, I think Nyx actually goes even on this lane from what I've seen. Even though, like, in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure Darkseer should win. I don't think it's actually the case. Perhaps that'll change a bit with the song you mentioned. It does get a lot easier. Pasha's got a shrine as well to help sustain a bit, but yeah, that lane's probably going to be pretty low action unless someone dives for a kill.
Looks like a little roaming now as Lil off the bottom lane. They feel like they've gotten their gyro, an okay start. Ramsey's actually flacking the creep wave out a bit. Perhaps just trying to play it safe while his support's on the roam. They do have some kill potential here, and Dendi does not have the boots picked up yet, but need to get that initial crush to start off, and he's gonna hoof it back to the tower. So for now,
Bottom lane, they went on Ramses, but
Lil just trying to harass. Almost
Rain
got
gets
him.
low, but with Ramses almost got brought down, but even without killing him, he's only got tangos, no salves, so he's kind of unable to go back and farm. He's might linger around, pop a few more tangos, and try and stick it out. But Sand King similarly also got low, and that's going to force Iron Man back. So I think that's a better trade for Iron Man. Last time he just got low and got nothing out of it. This time at least he forces the gyro out of the lane a bit.
Pasha going man mode here on General, just all in with the dive. Does have the soul ring. General Mango available. I don't think it's quite enough for a kill with the stun, but can make him sad. They're actually going to TP someone else in. He is going to pop that Mango, goes in, gets the stun. Can Armin get in range? It could be the first blood, and he nails him, and that'll be the kill. NaVi get on the board. It did cost them a rotation, but well worth it.
Yeah, well, definitely well worth it. And the Sand King was kind of backing out of the lane. I think he popped the shrine in the like way back at base by the tier 3 tower, so a lot out of it. And mid lane, Dendi going for the solo kill. No one. Berry Fire and Bottle Charges will keep him alive, so.
Dendi almost dying to the creeps there. That's the back away in the end. But doing a good job at forcing no one off the lane. Does pick up his boots now. Only level 4, so not at that point where he can really threaten the sniper with a remnant, triple remnant jump in.
And now both Dendi and No One have popped their shrines at similar-ish. Oh, well, I guess Ember used his a bit early, but just used the bottle charges. But they've both gone through their shrines, so that kind of gets evened up in this mid lane. And with no shrapnel charges, this is where the lane will swing. And like, he's actually winning on CS. The lane gets a lot easier now because the shrapnel isn't there, and Dendi has to play a bit more cautiously with a level 6 coming soon in Ember as well. So this lane gets trickier at this stage for the sniper. He's scared of Slardar rotations. He's scared of a lot of things that can very easily kill him.
Well, basically mirror movements here as Lil was heading back towards the mid lane. Looked like he wanted to potentially protect his Ember, start to set up a gank. Good Viver. Bottom lane was Lil, makes that rotation instead, is going to find him with the crush. The follow-up rocket barrage there, securing the kill. VP do get back on the board. They force Pika to TP away. Still level 4 here, so a little while before he's the Eclipse and could potentially take a team fight. Armen, though, sees this juicy stack. Love to try and snag a few creeps.
Dewatered the lane as well. They got that just at the end of their sentry duration, so they deny some of that needed VP vision down here if they want to maintain this 3v3 lane. It's pretty hard to do so without that ward, and he's just trying to secure the stack you mentioned. Ironman leeches a little bit of experience here and there, but that's going to be about it.
When you're a Sandkid, even just that 1 point in caustic, all those creeps are so low, your eyes get real wide, like saucers. You know, like, just hit him a couple more times. I'll get the whole stack, but VP not having any of it.
Well, it looks like no one's going to head back to base after getting harassment more. So he's level 6 now. There is possibility to rotate down bottom because that's where the action's happening.
That getting caught out a bit here, but he's got the support. Biver now the one taking the punishment from the helicopter. Ramses, though, not able to find the kill. And now Arman even chasing it deeper. Doesn't have to burrow for a few seconds. The sniper of Dendi arrives. The remnant comes through, bouncing back to mid and then over again. Will find the kill. The assassinate insufficient. Dendi now has to back away, so no one equalizes the score, does find the Sand King kill. And the Radiant scan coming out just to confirm that nobody has stuck around or lurks in the trees. General, though, does now have the Vendetta. Could be making his way for a gank fairly soon.
Has the mana for the Arcane Boot too. It becomes very obvious quickly if Nyx leaves the top lane. I mean, it's obvious right now. He's left the lane, and he's going to be making that call from the get-go. Like, okay, Nyx is gone. You check the scoreboard, see he's level 6. You're telling your team there's a level 6 Nyx missing off the map, and Pasha will just push out this top lane with Iron Shell, and as soon as no one's defending top lane, you know that it's a dead giveaway. Nyx is ganking. The question is, where is he ganking? You can't play defensively, passively all over the map on your cores, so there will still be some temptation to farm out mid, to farm bottom. And that's where, for now, Ember's farming. He feels a bit safer, but Ramses, knowing that there's no teammates nearby, is going to be hugging the tree line at bottom.
Yeah, Ramses wants those creeps, but not going to happen. Bycat will CS in the lane. See no one comfortable in mid, and Lil patrolling in the area. Managed to hit level 4 here. Zarman is also getting a little catch-up, so both support initiators trying to find their experience as we start to move towards the mid-game.
I mean, Iron Man gets a lane to himself with a Sanking. Slater doesn't really get a lane at any point. He's not going to be able to juggle, so we will see Sanking probably hit a faster blink timing between the two 4-position players. And Nyx is not like as farm dependent as a Darkseer, so they're probably happy for General just to start getting active on the map and giving Sanking the blink before they give Nyx like a blink or a Midas, whatever Nyx wants to go for. They want to prioritize the guaranteed stun initiation over the less reliable one in the Nyx Impale.
That Sand King just getting absolute free farm top lane, and meanwhile 4 heroes for VP have rotated bottom. They went for the Disruptor TP as well. And stacking the jungle quite a bit, and looks like Pasha's going to take it over. So I wonder if we see a support grab this top lane soon.
It was like kind of a scared move to rotate the Darkseer off of the top lane, but it's kind of a combined thing where you're afraid of Nyx gank. If you stay top, you think you're going to get Nyx gank. You're also afraid Nyx is ganking bottom,
and that's exactly what's happening. General strikes, and now the Self-Grave. Viper going for the TP out. Will he make it? The crush not quite there. It looks like he will escape successfully. Now glimpsing back General. The other way, they will bring him down with the power of the Iron Shell. And now a 2-hero chains grab by no one looking for more, but he does get stunned under tower. Lil in pursuit. The Remnant forward, RMN still in danger. The crush barely clipping him, and the follow-up chains not quite enough. Dendi turning the tides here. Oh, don't think he'll have it with the assassin. Maybe on no one he could though. Pycat could chase for another Lucent Beam, but the bottle will bring no one to a safe HP level. He'll make it away. And Ramses heading back towards mid to secure the farm there. Still though, VP committing the entire team to all these fights gods, and now he's getting a little more off of the side.
A little more for now, and Pycat's still struggling a bit. Like, it's more so for levels than farm. Like, I looked at that dive, I'm like, oh, is this really a good dive? Pycat can just eclipse him. I'm like, oh, he's not quite level 6, so taking a good advantage of a timing before Luna hits level 6. Luna, they get 6 now from a creep at bottom as no one comes back in.
Oh, dodging away from the burrow as he remnants on their Viper with a perfectly timed self-grave though at the buzzer with 4 HP, and that's a second or two after I looked at the bar. So we'll end up finding the kill there. Sad Slardar. No one also TPing home, and they're going to converge on top. General on the move. It's on to Ramses. NaVi's starting to snowball the laning stage. As it ends, they break the lanes down. They find another kill. VP coming in with the Slardar, but I don't know if he's really going to be able to dive this. He'll try, but he goes right into the Carapace. Armen has the stun available, the vacuum committed, and they'll back away. So some good early movements from NaVi.
Yeah, the beauty of this last pick Nyx is that it forces VP to 5-man a lot earlier than you'd like. And NaVi are getting more out of the map in terms of resources. They just left, like they had the Sand King solo farming top lane, and you can't send a hero to farm up there like a Darkseer to push the lane up because he gets ganked by Nyx. Anytime Nyx is missing off the map, VP are kind of scared. They have to 5-man, they have to be worried about when and where Nyx is going to show up, and what we're seeing is that VP just force a 5-man issue because Nyx is missing. Now Nyx is showing up top, so perhaps they feel a bit safer that they can split farm, and they really need a split farm. Like, Lil needs a Blink Dagger on his Slater, but anytime Nyx is missing from the map, he's probably not going to feel all too safe to do so. So I love how NaVi have played us like 3 to 4 minutes. As soon as General got his Arcane Boots, he just TP'd off the lane, went around Vendetta. He's back now farming a lane, but I think, again, soon, just give the Sand King the top lane and send Nyx around the map ganking. It's going to be a better, like, it's how NaVi have played it and has worked very well for them.
I mean, it really is the story of the game has been the fact, like you said, that there is a Nyx in the game at all. Like, whether or not the ganks succeed, it's forcing the Gyro to hide, then when he comes out, he gets caught and picked off, and it really does give Armen a lot more space to work with, and meanwhile Lil, only level 5 on the Slardar, falling quite a bit behind his counterpart, and VP starting to feel antsy, like they have to find a pick-off. They'll smoke as a pack of 3 head into the Dire Woods, maybe at least get some wards down here. Do they have any? Actually, no.
Dendi's position
wards.
Suggesting NaVi know fully well Dendi was tucked away in the trees with the Dazzle there even, and then even heads towards bottom. I think he's expecting that rotation from the north. He just runs to the safe spot towards his shrine, takes the high ground, and VP coming in. It looks like they do want to try and defend this one.
Glyph committed here, VP. Still clumping up. They have a lot of team fight potential. That was the one big thing we talked about. No mech just yet, though, so Na'Vi with a good initiation could bring down 2-3 heroes.
Oh, it's in the
and they're
trees.
looking for the side swipe. Armin coming in from the rear, just trying to patiently find that multiple hero burrow into an epi. He comes from the high ground. He only gets the burrow, and Pasha now tries to feint away, but so low as Ramsey's chipped off from distance, a safe kill. VP losing 2 there, and they're just gonna back off, calmly defend their tower.
Again, it's General's Nyx Assassin coming in. He got a 2-man Impale. They brought down Disruptor before he could use a spell. Without getting any Static Storm off in that fight, fight's instantly going to go Na'Vi's way. So really great defense. General just walking right in and invis. The sentry for VP, they tucked it away in the trees, probably hoping to not get it like go undetected, but the end result was they didn't actually see Nyx coming in. He was to the south of that sentry range, and that really completely screwed them over because both Gyro and Disruptor got impaled and they just instantly died.
You know, Na'Vi has had some pretty crazy runs in these Valve qualifiers. I think the last like really crazy one that I remember was a TI. I want to say it was the TI5 qualifiers. They ended up not doing well at the event, but they had a miraculous run with like a crazy base defense. The Dendi Mag came out after barely making it into the playoffs. They're having quite a showing here, and as I say that, I jinx the hell out of our man. He immediately gets glimpsed and picked off by a well-placed lane ward. So don't call it a win just yet, but it's been a good showing so far for Na'Vi against the undefeated VP.
Yeah, and at this point they've had the better early game. They've won the early game, the laning stage, with their movements, mostly thanks to General and his Nyx Assassin, but I mean, I feel like every player's kind of done their role. Like we've had Dendi rotating bottom, playing safe, not getting caught out. We've had Iron Man Sand taking over the top lane as needed. Some nice grave timings from Biva to keep himself alive, so they've had a very good early game, but VP's strength has generally been the mid game. That's where when they start 5-manning, when they kind of hit their stride with their levels and items, that's where a team like VP starts to shine, and that's where Na'Vi have perhaps felt a bit weaker. They don't necessarily have this. They've been a newer team. They don't have that same team coordination, and they're not always quite on the same page as a team.
Yeah, you can see Pycat already queuing up the BKB, really suggesting that Na'Vi want to be able to take those mid-game team fights into all the magic damage on the VP side. Grab the sniper Maelstrom for Dendi, and he's going to sweep in. General, under cover of Vendetta, cruising deep into the woods. He's going to find the initiation again on 2 to 3. Hero Carapace, Assassinate coming in, and the pain rains down. The burrow's there as well from Araman, and they clean them up. 4 VP heroes hit the deck. And again, gods, General, playing like a field general.
And this is like the Nyx game to watch. I think it sounds basic, but the key thing is just staying missing from the map. So many offlane players, like after they farm their... I mean, Nyx isn't about farming a Blink Dagger, but it's the same concept. Like if you're playing a Blink initiating offlaner or a Nyx, once you have like your level and your core item, in this case it's just the Arcane Boots giving you the mana you need to use all your spells, stay missing from the map. It affects so much how your opponents play. If they don't know where you are on the map, they've got to play scared, they've got to hide, and that's where you can just go around, wait for someone to poke their nose out and instantly jump. And Na'Vi find the perfect initiation at bottom. They had the ward behind the tower. They got all the intel they needed. No one's going to kind of try and look to even things up by just finding a trade up top for a tier 1 tower, but this is still Na'Vi controlling the tempo of this game and having the dream early game.
And the thing is, like, VP's team fight has gotten a lot stronger. They have the Veil now on no one, so the magic damage really amps up. Gyro, Ember, already just those two can pretty much wipe your team if they get the full combo off with the triple Remnant, the call down. And then on top of that, they have the mech on the Darkseer. So VP, certainly on paper, this is a strong team fight lineup, but when General gets 3 hero Carapace stuns, multiple hero impales every team fight, and then Dankeen's able to follow up, well, you're not going to get that mech off. You're not going to find a good Veil combo with the call down.
And the more I look at this now, and the more I've seen these fights, I'm like, this is actually the Dream Nyx game. There's so many good Carapace spells. Like, almost all of these heroes have stuff you can Carapace without actually, like, them meaning to proc your Carapace. From, like, the Rocket Barrage or the Flak of the Gyrocopter, the Ember, with his Flame Guard, the Darkseer Iron Shell, all of these heroes have great Carapace setups.
They found the old man on a walk, and they will slaughter him. VP with the smoke gank, we'll find the pick off on the sniper.
And he's pinging it, like he knows there's a ward of some kind there. The only way he gets seen there is through a ward or like an invis or something, so they get the intel they need. That's both those pickups. We saw a similar one at the bottom lane on the Sand King have come from like a lane ward, and that's something where at least Na'Vi get the intel and can de-ward it. Biva's already got the sentry coming out, and they'll quickly deal with this mid lane ward.
So looking at the overall like tempo and next round of objectives for each team, Gods, do you see a particular timing for either team? Is there a window here for Na'Vi? Is there any rush basically, or can they just take their time and look to take this a bit later? Let's say that glimpse bottom though, they are going to find the Nyx. General, I believe going for the TP out, yeah, we'll make it home.
This call from him. Iron Man just stood next to him and said, "Oh, you're fine, I'll leave you." The Sand Blink probably looks to me like the big timing for them. They've gone back for a Midas on Nyx, so he's looking to secure some late game assurance as well as level progression. If he could have bought a Blink instead of this Midas since they're a similar price point, but having a Blink and being a bit under leveled, it's better you get a later Blink and have like all of your spells maxed out. You get all those extra juicy stats and talents and things also. And you know the Sand King's Blink is coming at a good time. So we'll see Iron Man pick up a Blink, probably go for some smokes then. They are both rushing BKB on, it looks like, yeah, Sniper and Luna, so it is going to be like a NaVi on perhaps a bit of a timing where they want to get a lot done around those BKB timings. You don't go first item BKB on 2 carries if you're trying to drag the game out to the late game. So they're going to be trying to take objectives, take fights, secure Roshan around those BKB.
And that's for VP. Definitely a good split pushing lineup here with the Ember. I suppose to some extent the Slardar having Ion Shell on him and the Darkseer. They can definitely shove the lanes out and back away. Be careful not to give up those kills though, because there's always the threat of that roaming Nyx that we've talked so much about.
Yeah, Ember's job is going to be very much split push at this stage of the game. Split push out a lane, and then join up with the team for like a fight. But priority number 1 is split push, without getting caught, of course.
Maybe easier said than done though. The game has slowed down, and much to VP's liking, I would say. NaVi trying to change that. General on the hunt. We'll find that Ember top, can start things off with a Carapace, so already zippity-doo-dah, and away he goes though, no one. He's grabbed the Blink, so gotten even more mobile and elusive. He will back away, and he creates a lot of space as Ramsey just shoves in bottom, well on his way to a Yasha. This is much more the pace of the game that VP is hoping for.
Yeah, VP like these passive early games. If VP were at their peak, they would have these early games where there was like 2 or 3 kills in the first 15 minutes. That suited them, that allowed them to get the items, the levels, like their Slardar Blink timings, these kind of things which they played around, and then they suddenly 5-man down a tower, a lane, and start playing super aggressive. They were never a team that played aggressive in the laning stage. Outside of maybe Lil as an individual player was aggressive, the team as a whole was definitely not an aggressive one. And we'll see it now. This is going to VP. They've hit most of their items. They are still short the Slardar's Blink Dagger, but while this pace does, I think, suit VP more, they've also got to be looking at NaVi and seeing like, oh, both Luna and Sniper are rushing BKBs. Once they have those double BKBs, there's almost nothing we can do to fight them. So let's try and take advantage of this stage of the game by getting a few objectives, by getting a bit of map control before those BKBs come out. Yeah,
our men prepping for that next round of aggression. Has smoked in, drops a deep observer ward, and now revving up the epicenter. Burrows on forward. He'll have a little help here from Ho-Ho-Ha-Ha. Gets the kill, the insta-TP out. Or no, sorry, that's a TP in from Pasha. And now gonna look to chase on the RMN. Vacuuming him back, might be able to catch him out. The call down comes through, burrows into the trees. He has the blink, but can it cool down to allow him to get away? And if so, will he find the right angle deeper into the trees? Pasha, no way to stop that. He'll make it home safe. So they force 3 heroes to rotate. He still gets out, and I think most importantly, they got that deep ward, and doesn't seem yet like VP know about it.
I guess they know where the Sand King came from for the initiation, so they'll expect a ward in this Bounty Rune secret shop area, but they're not going to know where specifically, so it may take them a few guesses to figure out the exact spot it's on. And great kill, killing a Slardar before he's got Blink. He was on 2k gold, really slow down Lil, and he needs to be careful. He's come back to this mid lane, but there is a couple of scary NaVi heroes who can very easily go on him, and this T1 tower is going down with the BKB on Luna in the front lines. There is no initiating onto Pycat at this point.
Yeah, and even if you do manage to catch him off guard, you've still got the Grave, the Dazzle Heal, so lots of good ways to turn these fights around. The Sniper of Dendy has to be a bit more careful, hangs farther back. Ramsey's shoving that lane back in. See, VP feeling quite constricted right now, God. So much hugging that bottom quadrant, not really pushing out to the river.
They had the same idea that I did. Like, as soon as they saw, like, picked the Ember and saw the Sand King, they're like, oh yeah, it's the general Sand King. He's been playing Sand King all qualifiers long. Probably his most played hero in these qualifiers, and I think that was where the Nyx pick caught him by surprise. Because very easy to say at this point, like, man, why didn't they ban Nyx? They had Ember, Darkseer, Gyro, Disruptor. What are they doing not banning a Nyx Assassin last? But you just kind of get in this mindset that you know what role the Sand King's going to be in. And NaVi had played Iron Man on Sand King a few times before in the past, just not so much in these qualifiers.
No one. I think trying to disjoint a potential projectile that was already inbound. But in any case, will barely survive. He was not expecting the Sand King burrow or that sniper damage. Almost gets picked off mid. But space created.
Bottom lane where they... Yeah, bottom lane where VP managed to get a kill using the Disruptor ultimate. So a Vacuum, Static Storm, full combo into a Nyx Assassin. At this point, it's just a single kill, but it's worth doing. You're not looking to team fight right now. You're looking to just go late game more than anything. Go to a point where you've got more items on your gyro, get a BKB on him. Ember's gonna just want to continue to farm as well. We're not even seeing Boots of Travel on Noah. I think he realizes there's just too many other items he's going to need enough damage in a fight that he doesn't want to make that stop off travels.
NaVi still hanging back, waiting for that sniper BKB. Butterfly going to be next for Pycat, but it doesn't really feel like there's a big game-changing item beyond that BKB coming for NaVi. Nyx Blink, okay, but I mean, he's already been doing a lot without it, so not an item they're really waiting for to be able to take fights.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Butterfly is going to be when they can actually if they win one fight, you win that gun. That's like typical Luna game. Win a fight, take racks. Once you have the items to back it up, and that's what the Butterfly gives them. But now they're in the Roche pit with an Alpha Wolf, and this 5-man VP, well, 4-man VP smoke around the bottom lane goes very deep. They went really far into the Na'Vi side of the map, but they're on the complete wrong side, and NaVi managed to avoid them, take Roshan. They see the gyro in this bottom lane, and that's kind of a telltale sign that there's heroes around him, either sitting behind him or even sitting in front of him, smoked up as they were, and NaVi are using that knowledge of gyro's position to just secure themselves a pretty straightforward Roche.
If you're VP, even if you know they're Roshing, would you want to risk it into the Luna BKB though? Like they really don't have physical damage at this point.
Yeah. Perhaps if you had a decent ward down, you could fight.
Not the case though, as VP will chip away at this bottom tower, force some rotations from the NaVi squad. They will end up backing away in the end though. Meanwhile, painting out RMN like they want to make a move on him. Solo could try and initiate here. Potentially for that glimpse TP cancel, and the catch is there. No one will grab him out. Now the Static Storm committed as he gets clipped right back where he from whence came. Will end up falling. Pick there on RMN. Gods, you with me? I heard you like, doing that Australian internet thing and lagging out. Just a quick pick on the Sand King top. Not a big deal.
And still have the Aegis and go for a high ground play, although I also don't feel like Navi's in a huge rush. They've got, as much as like you don't want to, like you rush these BKBs and you're thinking you're on a timer, they haven't used the BKBs. I think that's the big thing here. While they haven't farmed as fast as they otherwise would have, they're still holding on to 10-second BKBs. So Pycat may have a Butterfly by the time before this.
Oh, General, that patience though, as he nails one. No one caught out top lane. Oh, the mana burn to start. He gets a little cheeky with them, lets him hit him with the chains. Then he carapaces and follows up with the stun right as the team arrived, and no one just not respecting him. Even manages to catch the Slardar blinking in for a follow-up stun and gets 2 kills. I mean, that is partially no respect from no one, though, to be fair.
Yeah, he's been kind of pushed to the limit where it's like you're versing a Nyx, but you're still going to push out these lanes, but it's so hard to play a game like this. You're behind, and you know that when you're behind, you want to be split pushing lanes, but you're trying to split push against a Nyx who has the best catch there is really against a split pushing Ember. So it's caught out there, doesn't respect what General can do, and General has been the playmaker this game. He's been so good on his Nyx Assassin, and he's setting NaVi up to take game 1 of this best of 3, and a bit of a shocker as Pycat will take a tier 2, and he's got money for Butterfly now. This is going to be Butterfly Aegis to push high ground with at a very scary stage of the game.
Yeah, he was a lot closer to that B-Fly than I realized. In fact, we'll complete it now with the Alpha Wolf in tow, marching straight towards bottom, and it's just trying to tank up here, become that massive right-kicking beast. Will be a siege engine for sure, and the thing is, with the Aegis and the BKB, like, they might have to throw a couple big ults just to get through the Aegis once, not to mention the BKB and the second life gods. And not, of course, on top of that, there's a grave to worry about.
Yeah, they need to do is throwing an ultimate to get rid of an Aegis seems worthwhile, because once his tier 3 goes down, Rax is almost dead. Like, you're just going to see Luna's bouncing glaives just bounce all over the place, destroy heroes. There's no defending at that point, but this also may just be VP saying, let's give up the lane of Rax. Like, they're not assembled, they're not in position to defend this one. The tower's already down, now the bouncing glaives are going to kick in.
Oh, they try to chip the Pycat. He will back off his own illusion, perhaps VP's greatest tool to deal with him. He gets glimpsed back in, creates another illusion, then the crush. Good job working on him, then the fall vacuum with the call down. But Dendi BKBs, looks to run away. Ramsey's moving on to him pretty quickly, bringing him down. Dendi low, almost dead, trying for the TP out. Fiverr going for the save, not gonna happen. He may fall as well, and then Pycat back into the fray. Drops the Eclipse, does he have the damage? The Burrow, the Epi, a bit discombobulated from Na'Vi. They haven't brought down anyone yet. Lil will fall. No one, though, still manning up, will find the kill. It's 2 deaths for a Pycat. He'll end up falling. Now Arman burrowing out, trying to retreat. They'll look for the Impale. They get one. Can they kill General? They will. Now no one without mana might not be able to walk away. Incoming Ramses, though. The chase continuing. VP. The sleight of fist is there. They find 5 heroes in the end. And on top of that, they defend the base.
That was just such a great bit of play there. They forced Na'Vi to group up by going on the Luna there. That glimpse on the Luna. And then as she's retreating, Na'Vi kind of converge around the Luna, like, okay, the Dazzle wants to go in to get a heal off. The Fall Staff came, I think, from the Sand King. So they kind of had 3 or 4 heroes grouped up for that vacuum, and VP capitalized. What a perfect initiation coming out. Asha on the Darkseer sets up a beautiful team fight. Gyrocopter just chased down Dendi. I'm watching Dendi just pop a BKB and then melt to the right clicks of a Gyrocopter. I was shocked to see how quickly he died there. And
well, I guess the thing
really was
the thing is, you know, he just doesn't have that much physical damage at this point, Gods. Like, he's gone Maelstrom, he's gone Dragonlance, just more of like a tanky magic damage build, and you know, hasn't even upgraded his boots yet. They don't have too much minus armor unless they hit an incredible weave. They also struggle to kill someone at BKB outside of Pycat, but Pycat melted. He jumped into 4 heroes and then didn't have a whole lot left in the tank.
Will perhaps raise some concerns with Na'Vi Campu. I mean, they took the tier 3 tower for free. I did not expect that VP to make such a strong hold after losing a tier 3 tower. Luna could have just stuck on the Rax, perhaps could have just used the BKB to try secure Rax. You don't normally want to use the BKB, just hit buildings outside of a team fight, but VP is the kind of scary team that may force that kind of a play. Other sets, VP holding the first lane against an Aegis push, and will become a bit concerned if you're Na'Vi. I think you go back to what's worked for you, though, which is going to be the pick-off into... That was the first time we saw them try brute force down the lane. Paper, I think against a lot of teams it would have worked. Like, you got this Aegis Luna, you just picked up the Butterfly, you tier 3 tower, but VP is just such a good, well-coordinated team in a team fight.
Na'Vi definitely a little bit more halting in their movements now. The next Roshan be about 1.5 minutes away. Manta under construction for Pycat. Dendi looks like wants to complete that Hurricane Pike. As for General, did go for the Blink, the 4 staff. Generally, we see the Ags at this point.
Yeah, I imagine so after the 4 staff now. Not no pressing items for him to pick up, I don't think. There's maybe some justification towards like a Yule Scepter type pickup, but the Ag seems... Like, Ags is a great high ground sieging item. You just plop yourself on the high ground, burrow it up, so... I like what the Hurricane Pike... If Dendi has the Hurricane Pike there, he has that extra bit of mobility and he can get away from the gyro. So even though he doesn't do a lot of damage in his BKB, his physical damage is lackluster. I think survivability is kind of priority number 1 still for him. There's Luna, Sand King with the ultimate, Nyx with his spells. They have enough damage elsewhere, and they're not relying on the sniper to do right-click damage.
So Na'Vi trying to take advantage of that tier 3 dropping top. They will be burning down the Shrine and Radiant Jungle, looking to somewhat limit their map control. VP, though, I mean, Ramsey's with a BKB, no one being as elusive as he is, also has gone for his own BKB. Pretty early, I would say, for an Ember, but necessary this game. With the BKBs, I'm not sure how worried they are going to be about going outside the base. You need, like, perfect chain stun from Na'Vi for it.
Exactly, and they've got 2 in the Sand King and the Nyx, and I guess Nyx is 2 himself, but it's still going to be a tough call to have both those heroes in the right position to get those chain stuns off, bring down like an Ember type hero.
Alright, so, last time VP they caught Na'Vi with their pants down, but Na'Vi, they have put the belt and the suspenders on. They are not gonna they're not gonna let it happen again quite so easily. They trot away. Just trying to wait for this Rosh, it feels like.
Yeah, it forces VP. VP were very, like, pushing, I mean, they pushed the tier 2 tower. It just forces VP back. Like, it's basically keeping VP honest. Like, guys, come defend your base. We're not actually going to push for racks, but we're going to make you TP home and at least take away some of that map position advantage that VP had by being in the enemy jungle. I think if you're Navi, you want to perhaps think about buying a gem, take out some of those wards in your jungle that you likely imagine were just planted. But for now, they need to make sure they can secure that Rosh. And that's really the danger of giving VP that top side of the map, is that it sets VP up to get some wards down. They've got one ward around that Dire Shrine. That's going to help them perhaps contest this next Rosh coming up, something that Navi want to be trying to grab for free.
Do you like this Manta pickup that Pyket's working on? I mean, you're up against an Ember with a Maelstrom. I mean, obviously Ember already does a lot of AoE damage. Gyro with the B-Fly now completed.
We had odd epicenter from RMN, not sure what that was about, but I think it's okay just for, like, Manta has a lot of other extra, like, you can dodge spells with it. It's temporary invulnerability.
RMN, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. VP will slice him up, and now looking for more. They find that glimpse, follow up, solo in deep. Will he get punished? The patience from generally pump fakes on the stun. He gets 2 instead of 1, but doesn't matter. He gets forced back to the high ground. Ramses commits the BKB. This is going to be the death of the Disruptor in the end, and now they might look to chase the other direction, assassinate, but not a whole lot of follow-up. Sweeping in from the side is General, under cover of Invis. Detection, does VP have it? Nothing in the neighborhood. He blinks and he finds the 1 hero stun with the Carapace follow-up. The BKBs being down allows Pycat to confidently move in, but not able to really follow up and find the kill. Without the Sand Cane, they just don't have that much lockdown.
Yeah, the chase is a bit more limited. Nyx does have Blink and Force, but it's also less of a guaranteed catch. It's a longer cooldown as well, so they really want that Sand King Burrow Strike to allow them to chase as well. But they do feel safe enough to go into the Roshan pit. Disruptor's in the neighborhood and can scout this one out pretty quickly. Medic field, yeah, he'll see Rosh going on, and VP is swarming that direction.
If they can just stall a bit longer, they'll have the Static Storm. The Darkseer wall available. They go for the glimpse back on Pycat. Try to bait out that BKB. Won't happen just yet. Navi trying to shove in the mid lane in the meanwhile and force VP to back away. VP, even though they're not that great at single target, they have amp damage. So I think with that, Gods, they could threaten the Rosh pit here and steal this away from Navi.
There is Weave and the Solar Crest on Dazzle now, which helps negate it a little bit. But we saw last fight, yeah, you pop the BKB on Sniper. If you save, like, you amp someone up after the BKB, Gyro's just going to run at them. He's got the Sanjin Yash, he's got the Butterfly, he's got good right-click damage and high movement speed. He will chase you down, and the amp damage will turn him into a much scarier carry. So Gyro doesn't really care about your BKBs at this point if he's got the Slather there to help him out. This Rosh is a risky one for Navi to try and go for. They have denied some of the Radiant Vision around the pit, but they don't have vision of their own. Neither team able to see up to the high ground of the opposing team's Rosh area.
Navi gonna back away for the moment. VP still hanging at the Ancients. Dropping the sentries. The eternal war over vision will rage.
There's slight edge for Navi, I think, based on the Helm of the Dominator Pycat. He's able to use that as a scouting tool, which realistically makes a big difference. Actually, no, so there's one on Ramses too. So yeah, both teams have a Helm of the Dominator. These are very important just for scouting at this point in the game. You're playing blind, you've been dewarded, there's a Rosh standoff, you've deward, and with the dewards happening, like, you need some way to get vision. It's a free scouting unit. Yeah, it gives away 125 gold if you can kill them, and it's definitely worth doing, but it forces the opposing team to reveal themselves on the map.
The Roshan now being threatened by Ramses. He moves in, will break the spell block momentarily. We are going to see the amp come out as General looks for the solo kill, whiffs on the stun. And meanwhile, the Rosh drops dangerously low. Navi, no sight of a contest. The Wildkin rushes in, only for Big Bird to find that Rosh is dead. The Aegis. That's VP.
Kind of a...
And not done just yet.
Really... Oh, they want to get kills, yeah.
They got the amp off on Arman. He burrows up to the high ground. He will manage to catch 2 with that, but he's chained at the same time. It's the rarely seen homie missile come in. Okay, we'll find that kill.
I'm watching Solo like, okay, do you really want to be solo pushing a lane up top as a disruptor? But it was while his team took Roshan, so he was almost like just a bait. Like, the Nick was actually up there dealing with the disruptor. I think the disruptor showing himself up top pushing a lane really threw Navi off because they completely vacated the Rosh pit. just because of a lone disruptor. It's such a solo play to make. He often goes off to make these like suicidal support lane pushes to create space for his team or get intel for his team. And that's exactly what he did. He didn't even die to the Nyx. If the sun lands, I think he still survives as well. So worst case scenario, Na'Vi send 2 or 3 heroes his way, he dies, his team still get Roshan. So really good play from Solo to set that up, and the rest of the VP team take advantage of Na'Vi's lack of control around that Roche pit area, having no wards, having no vision, making it very tough for Na'Vi to play at this stage of the game.
Speaking of Solo and his off on his own aggression, it could pay off here in a big way, Gods. He's got the Aghanim Scepter now, went for the early plus 60 gold a minute talent, and has finally reaped the benefits of it. With this Ags, if he just sneaks in from the side, finds the Luna, the sniper, and drops the ultimate, they're not going to have too much recourse.
The big thing here, you've got a guaranteed like blink stun initiation that you use to set up a static storm, so you can't just plop Luna on the front lines and expect her to be able to get off a BKB. He does have the Grave, but if you get Graved and you're already low HP out because you didn't BKB, like when the Grave ends, you're still gonna die.
Yeah, there's no Satanic here on Pycat. He's not life stealing that back.
Exactly, and that's where I think you look, if he sees this Axe, he's gonna be like, well, maybe I should consider like a Satanic type item. Like my Dazzle can save me temporarily, but I need a way to heal back up. So perhaps after the Hurricane Pike, maybe even before it, we'll have to wait and see. But that's going to become a high value item for the late game Luna game like this.
VP showing their resilience and their poise as a squad have pulled this game back from the brink, at one point down about 7,500 gold. And it really felt like Na'Vi was in the driver's seat, but now a 10,000 gold swing later, they're in the lead and they're flexing their muscle. They put the gyro up in front, and they will try to initiate here. No one jumping in, connects with the chains on Diviver, just a threatening maneuver from no one, not going to commit. But they're starting to get the creep equilibrium going their way, Gods.
They're keeping these lanes pushed out. They managed to find a good way of just to shut down and slow down General's ability to control this game with his Nyx. And Ramsey's on the front line, very safe, reliable, high ground, slow sieger, has managed to chip away this tier 3 town. I think with Na'Vi full 5-man defending the lane, they decided it's not really worth risking a dangerous push here. Let's push out some of these side lanes first. Ember's already back in the top lane, almost completing an Octarine core, so they're going to try hit that kind of late game timing with a level 25 Ember. Even the Gyrocopter's level 25 would be kind of nice as well with the extra flak attacks, or even the homing missile traps, but the flak attacks is what strikes me as the optimal one for a carry gyro. And as it stands, Na'Vi are going to be playing high ground defense too. They've got a lot of room for Sniper to grow in terms of his items. He's really got, I mean, he's going to upgrade his boots. He's got a TP and a Ring of Aquila to replace that, even the Maelstrom to upgrade. So there is kind of going to be like, there's a lot of benefit for Na'Vi just to drag this game and stall it out, but it's like how much can they defend and stall it out against the Gyro and Ember who want to try and sneak high ground.
And that's the thing, you mentioned, Sniper has a lot of room to grow, but is he going to find that farm? This guy has already fallen quite a bit behind counterpart in the Ember, and that could certainly increase if he leaves the base. CVP is just better at split pushing, better at spreading the map, and Na'Vi really only the Nyx ganks as their main threat, but at this point they're just not enough to find solo kills and carries. I mean, it took some incredible individual play by General to pull it off earlier, and these carries have only gotten tankier and stronger since then.
Yeah, and that's, I think, Na'Vi's biggest problem right now is that, yeah, General can Vendetta down the lane and initiate onto an Ember, or, like, an Ember's just split pushing the top lane, but how do you kill him? You're not solo killing him. You need a teammate, and heroes like Luna, Sniper aren't ganking heroes. They're not like a Slack who can Shadow Blade around the map. Nyx is kind of alone on those ganking missions. Perhaps Sanking can join up with him, but even between Sanking and Nyx, they may not have enough damage to kill someone like an Ember. Epicenter included, because he's so tanky now with this Octarine core. He's got 2.2k HP. If you don't kill him instantly in the chain stun, he BKBs. The only way you kill like a split pushing Ember is if you bring the right clicking carries, and that's going to become, if Sniper or Luna's not defending the high ground or showing on the map, you kind of know something fishy's on.
Yeah, if you see the old man just toddling down the lane, pretty likely to back away. Or rather, if you don't see him defending the base, as you mentioned. Not really the kind of carries that are meant to gank. You know, Navi's carries are much more meant to team fight, to push, to siege, or to turtle, but not really to leave the base and make those aggressive plays.
They're going to be forced to play for, I mean, it's kind of like VP want to hit their late game timing with the level 25s, but Na'Vi are going to go one step beyond that, even further into the late game. and just play high ground defending game, because yeah, Sniper doesn't have the late game items, VP have the Aegis, the Roche control now, and VP also have the lane control because they can keep all these lanes pushed out. The downside for VP is some of the heroes are kind of peaking and not necessarily going to get too much stronger. Who's kind of hitting that 6 slotted point. Gyro is more or less there as well, has the Helm of the Dominator to upgrade, but they are not going to necessarily get too much stronger beyond this point. But I mean, the strength right now with like the synergy in the team fight where they've got the Vacuum, the Axe Disruptor, the Vacuum in a Crush, like there's a lot of great team fight potency for VP.
They do have a DD up on Ramses, at least for now. About halfway, a little bit more towards expiring. No one farming up the neutrals in his own right. Close in on the owner. So VP with that dual threat of heavy physical damage from the gyro, heavy magic damage from the Ember, pretty much ensuring that Dazzle alone will not be like a full solution or counter for their lineup, even should it get to late.
Still unclear what Pykat's looking to go for his next item. Hasn't bought the Hurricane Pike. Could buy the Pike and have buyback, but the fact he's not, guess he's thinking like the Satanic type pickup or something else more late game oriented. Daedalus, Bloodthorn, these other big damage dealing items could also mine. But I think he really is feeling like he needs a big late game item more so than he needs Hurricane Pike. NaVi want to win the game. Like maybe the Hurricane Pike's like a nice stable item, helps keep you alive once, but if you want to win, you need something a bit more, with a bit more oomph.
What do you mean, if you want to win the game? Like, are you implying something, guys? I know 322 came from the CIS region, but seriously, no.
I came from one of the players in this game. Look, other team.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Are you saying Navi's been paid off?
No, Solo has his ways, his connections. I don't know.
I don't know if anyone has more money than Zero Gravity, though. That guy's got a yacht. I've heard he's got a yacht.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure he can match anything that Solo's offering.
Can you match what Valve's offering, which is going to be some
actually,
$20 million TIs?
Can he match what the oil billionaire's offering? Maybe not.
That's true.
So, well, Navi finally going to kill off this other shrine. I'm actually surprised they didn't do it earlier. As I say that, though, VP want to punish. They're going to make the move on General. They'll quickly bring him down. That's a gem hitting the deck. Oh, you thought you could just take a shrine? Fat chance of that, say VP. And the chase is now on. Looks like the rest will go.
Yeah, like that was a quick, like, abandoned ship call for Navi. Like, everyone's like, get the hell out. Every man for himself.
That feels like a...
No one help anyone out.
Doesn't that feel like a move that should have happened at, like, 30 minutes, not 45 when VP's kind of hemmed them in?
If they'd taken that shrine earlier, that Roche... They should have had the advantage over that Roche fight. They'd be able to take that shrine, get some wards down. I think that... there was a second Roche could have gone very differently for Navi. But just not having the vision, not having that shrine down made a big difference. And,
Lil with the big grab here. The follow-up coming through from no one. Self-grave, try for the TP away. Biver, not going to happen. Will be caught, I think, by the glimpse there. Canceling the TP. Will end up falling. Armen on the run. That makes it back to high ground, but VP just hitting the kill switch all of a sudden and going deep into Navi territory. They suddenly have no fear, and you can see it from their gameplay.
Dire's middle tower
So much confidence now that they've kind of stabilized this game. All it took was that one high ground hold at top against the Aegis, and being able to push back, use the team fight that the Darkseer, Slaughter Crash, or the Static Storm brings to the table, and they're now ready to start poking and prodding at this high ground. Gyrocopter's in, and what an initiation.
Oh, they will manage. Pycat will manage to limp away, but he gets glimpsed back into the Thunderdome and into trouble. VP make it 4 heroes picked off over the past minute or so as they look for Armen. They'll kill him again. Ramses with the frag. And now VP surging forward, picking up steam. They're going to mow down the mid lane. They could potentially rotate straight top. And that appears to be the call. The buyback comes out from Armen. This could be Navi's last stand in game number 1. Came in hot, came in strong, but not able to find that first lane of Rex. It was a great hold by VP, catching them off guard. God, I guess it must have been about 20 minutes ago where they drop the wall, they get the Luna illusion, and then the Blink Vacuum comes and hits on 4, not into the wall. Suddenly Navi lose the fight somehow. VP get a team wipe out of it, and Navi have just been on the back foot ever since. You can really see it very clearly in the graph, that final dip, the last time when Navi had the control of the game.
I see. Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. How crazy influential that Luna illusion was. They initially dropped the wall on the Luna, and then he glimpsed him back into the wall, so we got a second Luna. Well, VP has not looked back since that fight. They secure another Roche for themselves, Aegis and Cheese. Gyrocopter with the Aegis, he's the high ground siege machine, and Navi we're trying to make a big move around towards this bottom side of the map to perhaps contest it, but that did not work out at all for them, and they've gone for the Ags Luna. This is a bit of kind of like a Hail Mary play where you're just hoping that, I mean, that this catches VP by surprise.
Alright, man, this guy bought back earlier. He's not going to be able to rejoin the fight. He gets caught by the crush, finished off, and well,
he's got respawn time.
He's got the respawn timer down. Alright, it's tactical. But,
tactical feeds.
But still not ideal, gods. Obviously, Sandkane here that doesn't need a huge amount of items, but heading late game, you would like him to be more durable just so he can get off multiple stuns in fights, but it's not feeling like that's going to happen.
You want him to have a BKB or a Lotus Orb so he can like stay alive in the fights, not get stunned, or the Lotus Orb to get rid of the corrosive haze, which has been very problematic for them, so not able to progress at all in terms of items has definitely been one of his weaknesses at this stage of the game, but here we go, the Luna Eclipse, what can it do with the Ag Scepter? Trying to probably get on the backlines, get heroes like Disruptor, Darkseer, Slaughter with the Eclipse.
It's alright, they've got the Lurker Nyx now. Surely this will be the answer to their problems. Pycat charging in, looks to engage, he does drop that massive Eclipse, he gets Grave pretty early in the fight. He's brought one down, almost two. The Ember looking to come back in, but now he's isolated. Ramsey on the chase. Can Pycat make it away? He is pretty fast. Also low. Ramsey's though with the Aegis wants to chase, and no one there. Cleaning up that Luna, looking for a bit more as he'll isolate Dendy. The Crush comes in, the Carapace, the stun from the Nyx, not quite enough. Dendy pushing himself away, back towards safety, but no one decapitates him, takes him down. The Nyx limps back to the well in general. Well, this man is strong. He's been doing some heavy lifting, but unfortunately, his troops not rallying to the cry, and looks like VP gonna take game one. Now the epicenter. Too little.
And Navi played an incredible early game. I think that's part of the story here for me, is that Navi have definitely shown up in the playoffs. They had a very lackluster group stages. They scraped their way into the playoffs, but here they are versing the undefeated Virtus.pro, and they were in a position to win this game. They were in a position where the game was favored for them to win the game with that Aegis Butterfly Luna. They just met a VP team whose teamfight coordination and execution is